and he gives them a talent to achieve extraordinary success when they teach, when they study Torah in order to teach. So I want to focus on the next one, which is Pirkei Avos, number 7.
Rabbi Sadok said, "Do not separate yourself from the community. When serving as a judge, do not act as a lawyer. Do not make the Torah a crown for self-glorification or a space for which to dig." So Hillel used to say, "He was poised to crown of Torah. The personal benefit shall fade away. From you derive that whoever seeks personal benefit from the word of Torah removes his life from the world."
Yep. Okay, we just learned in the Gemara Daf Yomi that we're learning, I think it's page 37, that discusses how the person is not allowed to charge money for teaching Torah. And the question is asked in the Gemara, how come, everyone does charge money? Why is this happening? And they explain that the only reason people are charging money is basically for babysitting. There is a responsibility to teach Torah for free without asking any money. But because most common, the people who are involved in teaching Torah are teaching small children, and small children need, beside learning, beside sharing knowledge with them, also they need a discipline, they need to be ordered. And it's also something that basically the main reason this happening because people are spending their time, and if they wouldn't spend the time on teaching Torah, they would spend time making a living for themselves. So I like how it says here, Rabbi Tzadok, when I repeated that, do not make Torah and mitzvahs a crown to aggrandize yourself, nor a spade to cut with them. Meaning, like when I'm reading the spade, it's like a shovel to shovel money into your pockets. And it has a lot of debates in during the Jewish history. And it says here that Rambam, Maimonides, he says that, let me see, undoubtedly anger and provoke his contemporaries because he's going to really focus on that issue. And he says that a man should not make the Torah a crown wherewith to aggrandize himself. It was due to the current notion that community was obligated to support scholars so that what could devote themselves to their studies. It's also understand.
Where are you reading?
I have let me see, a Barbanel commentary on Pirkei Avos, and it's like it has expounding that idea, and I really like the examples that they bring in here. And it says, that's probably quote Rabbi Tzadok quoting Maimonides. He says, it's a false notion that has no basis in the Torah, nor in the teaching of our sages. In effect, Rambam contends, we do not find one instance where sages of Talmud requested financial aid to circulate it to collect funds for their yeshiva. It is preposterous to think that the people of the Talmudic days were not generous and would not have royally supported their scholars. Let me see. Had the rabbis merely hinted that they needed help, they would have their homes filled with gold. The reality was that the sage himself was content with what he had, and I even thought of calling for succor. Rambam fortifies his position with some biographical sketches of the rabbis mentioned in the Talmud. He starts with the famous Hillel, who was descendant of King David, and nevertheless supported himself as a wood chopper. It also says here, Abarbanel, in the Talmud of Tanis on page 10a, relates that the sages in his time were convinced that the heavenly voice descended upon the world and extolled Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa, who was content with a small measure of cherubs during the entire week. And the good rabbi would never have dreamed to make an alms. The rabbis in Ksubas, that's page 105, told that Karna, Dayan in Jerusalem, was a water carrier. water drawer. When he was asked to adjudicate, meaning he was invited to be a judge in a Jewish court, that means he's going to spend money over there. So all he asked for payment for someone else to hire to perform his job, so he would be able to support his family, because he has a certain limit that he wanted to earn. Otherwise, he would get no fine way to sit as a judge. Rambam Maimonides emphasized the fact that he is permitted, and the members of the community would never permitted this distinguished juror to be a water carrier. It was only that the rabbi would have it no other way, meaning that was their choices and their insistence. We also have a, let me see, there's a famous case that during the time when there was a shortage of food, it's a Baba Basra in the Talmud, page 8a, Rabbi Yehuda Hanossi opened his granaries and warehouses to the needy, and he invited only those who studied to come and receive donations that were being made to the needy. Rabbi Yonatan ben Amram, distinguished sage, didn't like this idea. He didn't like that only people who learn Torah would be given food and other people would starve. So he came, stood in line, and Rabbi Yehuda Hanossi asked him, "Did you study Torah?" And he said, "No." He said, "I can't give you any food." And he said in response, "Sustain me as you would sustain a dog or a bird." And he was given food. Rabbi Yehuda Hanossi, later on, he was sitting and he was contemplating. He was not happy that he originally wanted only give money to people to learn Torah, and now he gave someone else who, in his opinion, were not worthy of it. So his students hinted to him, and he said, "Don't worry. Maybe this ignoramus who said he doesn't know Torah and he wanted to support him as you would support the dog or the bird was great Yonatan ben Amram, who refused to benefit from his learning." How do you like it?
Yeah. What? Well,
Yes?
yeah, I'm with you.
All right, so I think we went pretty deep into this.
Yeah, and so we could bookmark it.
Right, so.
And you have your reference. I don't have that reference, but I have